So first of all, the most important thing to understand in today's day and age is that the consumer is still queen or king. Consumers are evolving by the day. As we speak, in that same household, there's not just Gen Z, but there's millennials, there's Gen X, there's boomers, Gen Alpha, and Gen Beta. When all of that happens, increasingly we are realizing that it's very, very important for us to customize the kind of answers that search drives. The old paradigm was when people just searched using a single word. But today, people are actually having conversations with search. AI overviews and AI mode actually helps get the best possible answer using Gemini, which is the LLM that powers search today. So imagine, you're looking for something. In the old days, you would probably say vitamin D. But today, the kind of searches that are happening is, what supplement should I take if I'm staying in a place that doesn't have sun 365 days in a year? Those are the kind of queries that are happening. And for each of these queries, using the power of Gemini, the answer is actually very, very customized. And today, you can actually tap into what is known as personal intelligence. Of course, you have to opt into that. But using personal intelligence, the answer that possibly comes to me as a male versus an answer that possibly goes to a teenager who's a lady is actually going to be different. That's what the power of AI is doing to search today. One of the biggest things that happened to YouTube is actually the affiliate program. We started on a small scale last year, but we've now scaled it to not just Flipkart, Myntra, but also other brands like Nykaa and Purple. What we are seeing creators do is, when they normally talk about a product, take a beauty creator who often does a routine or a nighttime routine. We now see them tagging that product onto their videos. And consumers who anyway were coming to this creator to actually learn a little bit more about that particular product, and they are influenced by this because they anyway stand for authenticity, are now clicking on those links and actually going and then buying those products on these platforms. Video today on YouTube is actually video commerce for a whole lot of industry segments. I'm a big fan of hyper-personalized AI content. So if you actually see the continuum that most advertising agencies have been on in the last 3 or 4 years, you remember the old Shah Rukh Khan Cadbury commercial that came about 3 years ago. That was actually customization done for the first time using AI. But now we're actually seeing marketers embrace that and take that to the next level. It's not just about using where the consumer is at to give a personalized video depending on the geolocation, but also then customize it using the right language. And Gemini, as the LLM that is actually powering a lot of this, actually enables you to now even have the right dialect. India is a country where dialect changes every 50 kilometers. Using Gemini, you can also train it to have the best possible dialect for that consumer. So according to me, the future is for hyper personalized, which can actually change the way ads are consumed every 50 kilometers in the country by language, by age, by sex, and so many other demographic variables. I think we are in the agentic era of marketing. Today, an agent actually can be the superpower for a CMO. Earlier, if you just imagine what CMOs were doing maybe 5 or 10 years ago, they would actually crunch little amounts of data, but take days to get insight out of it. But now, using AI and using agents which do that in an autonomous manner, we can actually crunch large amounts of first party data, second party data, and actually derive insight at the speed of light. All of this is enabling the marketer to actually do what they were doing much faster, sometimes much cheaper, and definitely a lot more efficiently. But obviously, agents need some work. You have to actually define parameters. You actually control the environment in which you're doing it. But the best thing about it is it doesn't take much to build an agent. You can actually do it in one night. I myself built my first little agent. It took me a week to understand all the fundamentals, but I was able to build it in a day. So the agent can actually be your superpower.